Hello, this is Monday Nights Get Nuked. I am thirsty. Down there are my lovely players. And that one. We have a map over there. You see, there's lots of sea on it because currently our lovely people are out at sea. And they will be experiencing their wonderful adventures through the lens of the nuked system. Oh, the nuked setting of the spliced system, which I co-wrote with my far more popular and famous partner, Volley. So, from here on, we shall delve into the rules for chat, which one of our two eager beans will go along and shout out, probably. Come on, rules for chat. Who wants to do them today?
Don't be at all about someone's gender. Don't be at all about someone's race. And most importantly, don't be at all.
Or a screwdriver.
Whoa!
Wow. I was diving in there. Fuck yeah. Oh. I'm so happy.
Happy
I feel like a proud dad. I've managed to get other people to do the silly things I don't want to. That is the essence of fatherhood. So today we are joining our lovely, lovely people back aboard the Bottle and Bride, out at sea, somewhere in that wavy blue bit, which is actually kind of green and mucky, but hey. And before we go any further, we better know who these people are. So, who the hell are you people? Let's start with Eivor. Who are you? Who are you playing? What's going on?
I'm Eivor. I'll be playing Zeke. The slowly recovering wild wanderer, who will hopefully not sustain any more crippling injuries for the foreseeable future.
You can hope.
Yeah, should probably check on Jerry at some point soon as well.
Yeah, I think we did. I think Lilth offered some first aid. Yeah, but yes, Jerry should probably be consulted at some point because he's either sitting very angry in a bag in a cabin in a ship, or you've been like toting him around and he's been in a terribly bad mood. But yeah, in your bag it's probably like half full of God knows what by now. It's spewed out of this seriously ill scuzzle. But yeah. So there we are. There's our lovely and elegant intro to one of our players. So who wants to go next? Kerone, go next. There you are, Kerone. Hooray!
I am Kerone, and I will be playing Lamb, who is very interesting, and I've been joined by a dog, and no, the dog's gone. Sorry, should have cucumbered that.
Yeah. Consummate professionalism as always.
Yes. But yeah, Lamb has been having some fun, sort of swapping the decks and singing songs.
Breaking his teammates' shoulders.
I'm trying to forget about that.
Yeah.
It was not my finest hour.
I don't know, you rolled pretty well.
I did, but I didn't know what I was doing.
That's no defence.
But yeah, that's Lamb.
Yeah. Excellent. Alright, so next we shall have one of you two. So who wants to go now? Who wants to leap into the fray? Fine, I shall pick you like small children. Lilth!
Hello, I'm Lilth. I'll be playing Anita, the ever so slightly drunken rotter ex-pharmacist, sometime medic, sometime drug dealer, who may or may not be experimenting on a scuzzle, and a friend.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. So yeah, always good to know that we've got someone along to, really look after their comrades and
Absolutely.
not at all jab people with syringes full of unknown substances. You know,
It looked good. It looked like it would be helpful. And she's got 3 ranks in medic now, so she kind of knows what she's doing. Sort of. Maybe.
okay, maybe. I'll accept that as a solid maybe. Right. Okay. Oh, these people are terrible. Right. Last, but by no means least, in any way, Spanners.
Ooh. So I am playing Timi. I have no idea what's going on, but like all the time, Timi is just there for the violence.
Despite having been the face last session. Very much the face, in fact.
Didn't actually kill anyone last time, so
No.
clearly needs to make up for it this week.
Nice.
But has been given a mission of going and murdering a load of salty bastards. So
Yes.
get this done.
Yeah. So there we are. And I've said we will be rejoining you on Captain O'Neill's ship, the Bottle and Bride, as you leave the kelp farm, the Kelping Hand, with Ernst and Unst and Anna and the ladies in the factory, and all of those weird, slightly Germanic clones. So yeah, those are leaving all them behind, and the main rig it's moored to, which is far bigger and more important. But you're not getting on there. And you're heading off towards the boneyard. Which, if you're really that desperate to work, is actually on that map there, it's on the other side of the little headland there from Ooze Town. And if you know that coastline well, because it's based on a real map, you'll have to forgive me. So yeah, you're heading off on O'Neill's boat. I mean, I imagine you're all staying up top for this. I mean, unless Timi really wants to go underneath, try and coax some more speed from the engines or something. But you probably have to really push the Rust Mistress to do anything to the engines at all. As you probably won't recall, some of the deck crew pulled out harpoons and mounted them on the rails like swivel guns, because that was just a cool image, and I wish I hadn't said it because it's really complex to try and get that to work. But hey, we'll see how it goes. So yes, you're on the Bottle and Bride, you are pounding it along at a decent rate of knots. So I think the first thing we should be dealing with, because it was pointed out that I neglected this last session, is we should roll some endurance saves to see how everyone's dealing with being at sea for like a week.
That include lamb?
No, I think the salties will probably be all right for this, but let's say our main cast members at least give it a go, because they actually racked up some suffering.
15.
15, oh nice. Yeah. How many levels of what you got to lose at the moment?
Right now, I have 1 level of suffering and 1 level of exposure.
Right. Well, I think we can safely say you can lose that level of suffering now. You're still exposed. You're still a little worse for wear, but you're on the mend.
Awesome.
Yes. So Anita, what's Anita?
11.
11.
Non-natural.
Yeah. What's Anita got to lose at this point?
She's got 1 level of suffering and 3 exposure levels.
Okay. Well, as a rotter, Anita naturally loses a level of exposure every day. So your exposure is gone. I'd say, yeah, you've been, you might have put in a few long nights, but yeah, you definitely could have got at least 1 good night's sleep and lost that level of suffering.
Yay!
You've had the better part of a week. I think it was 4 or 5 days we said last session, so yeah. Right, Does Timi have anything that she wants to try and shrug off at this point? Suffering, exposure.
She has a level of actually, she has 2 levels of suffering.
Ooh. Might be worth trying to get rid of some of that then.
Yes.
Does anyone have any items they want to throw at this or anything? And remember if they had any like healing juice left or.
I have some assorted drugs.
God.
Well, I seem to recall that there was some leftover healing juice, but I can't recall what happened to it. After Morgan gave you her like super whiskey.
I think we drained the bottle.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You drained the bottle and just got ruined, which is why you all have levels of suffering. Fair enough.
No, I didn't. I can hold my booze.
Oh, yes. That's it. Yeah. Oh, good. So, yeah, I will allow you to take a physical endurance to see what you can do about that suffering, that first level of suffering.
Okay. 14.
Yeah. That shit's gone, so. And Anita, if you're willing, we'll assume that at some point Timi has gone to go like look at the hole in my leg. Is it doing okay? I'll let you try a medic to additional treatment.
Let's give
Because
this a go.
she has a gaping fucking hole in her leg, whether she's feeling it or not.
Oh, my nice dice are actually being nice to me today. They hated me yesterday. That is 19.
19.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I can't really say no to a 19. Over here on my quick reference sheet, 18 is impressive, but you're not a Jedi yet. And 20 is legendary. So yeah, I'd say the leg is definitely on the mend. The level of suffering's gone. You're all right. I mean, you still have a hole in your leg. You're not going to win any 100-meter sprints, but you're doing okay. As long as you don't go wading in cesspits or anything, it's probably going to be all right. Don't go swimming. just don't go swimming. So yeah, you're all about as healthy as you're going to be. I don't know what you were doing hit points wise, but let's just say you're all okay hit points wise. Because you've had the better part of a week. You've been fixing yourselves up. So yeah. And so the bottom blide's smashing it back towards the land. It's been a few days, obviously. Most of you have been below decks for that. So you don't actually have any real understanding of how far away from land you are. Until sort of this moment, because you can't see any at all. Zeke, how are you doing with that?
I think Zeke will look over the sides and hail slightly and go, Say, Neil, is that cabin still empty down there? This this side of things don't suit me so well.
At this point, Anil is in the wheelhouse, struggling. Basically, this boat is going hell for leather. It's not meant to. It's probably not meant to go as fast as it's going. He's in there with a helmsman, and they're both struggling to hold the wheel in place. Sort of thing. As this, I think it was a tugboat, an old fisher boat sort of thing. It's pretty much sort of planing at the front, out the water.
That being the case, I think Zeke will, not being the strongest of able seamen, lie down sort of front first on the floor and hold on.
I'm glad that you volunteered that, but I would also like you to give me a mental endurance.
Mental endurance.
I mean, this is a wholly alien situation for you.
That
At least when you
is-
were at the Kelping Hand, there was something to stand on, and there were people doing things people doing land-like activities like farming. There were engines running. It was notably a settlement, even though it was floating.
That is a 12.
A 12. Yeah, you are considerably uncomfortable. You're about half convinced your guts are going to burst out your throat. You are laying face down, like in the middle of the boat. You've convinced yourself that's the safest place you can possibly be. Quite rightly. And you're sort of slowly edging your way back towards like the hatch below decks. Because as sure as you are that being in the middle of the boat is safe, definitely being below decks is better for not being swept overboard. And there's a certain worry of that going through your mind right now. Anita. Also for yourself, being away from the land. I mean, I don't know what Anita did pre-war, like pre-desolation, but I assume we've said pharmacist, we've said like pharmacy tech, that sort of thing. I don't imagine that involves great spans of time spent at sea.
She lived in Pompey, so
Yeah, that's near the sea, but
boats.
notably still standing on land.
I reckon she would have got on a cross-channel ferry a few times, if
quite
nothing
possibly.
else, the Isle of Wight ferry or the Gosport ferry. So
Fair
boats
enough.
are through her.
Okay.
She's not a competent sailor by any means.
Oh
but
yeah.
she's
Well,
been on water.
there's a difference between, like, I know this myself from having sailed. There is a notable difference between being on a large, secure vessel going at a steady speed and being on a powerboat going at breakneck speed out of sight of land.
Have you been on the Gosport ferry recently?
Not on the Gospel Ferry, no. But also being knowing that you have no control, and you can look over at the people who are in control, and they don't seem to have a great deal of it either. This isn't necessarily just like a oh crap, there's no land, but this is a oh crap, I don't feel safe.
Fair.
You can also get a mental endurance from yourself. You are standing in slightly better stead for this.
That's an 8.
An 8.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, you're feeling ironically pretty green. You're gonna probably like make your way towards the back of the boat and sort of stand with your head down, sort of somewhere in the middle at the back.
Assume the position of a seasick person.
Yeah.
I know it well.
Yes, assume the position of the seasick person who's kind of thinking of like throwing up into the wake so no one sees.
Yep. I know that position very well.
Yes, that's the one. And you're standing sort of near the wheelhouse, so you can hop in if you feel the need to really get some security. Timi, you're fine. The boat's going a bit faster than it should. You're aware of that. Yeah, you can hear a note in the engine noise that tells you that it's really pushing. Like they want to get this shit done. Whatever hold Morgan has over O'Neill, it's really pushing him to get back as soon as possible. Get this out the way. Either he really finds this task very distasteful, or he just really doesn't want to be doing it.
Okay.
And Lamb, you're on a boat. This is what this boat does. O'Neill's a bit of a nutter. He rips it about all over the place. He's going a little faster than usual.
Keeps singing in a shanty.
And what shanty is that?
Same one. Oh, we all go off to sea. Can't find a place to have a wee. Oh, look, there's a sea. Oh, wee, wee, wee.
Yep,
You
that's the
had
one.
to ask.
It's on yourself.
Well, I was half hoping there would be another one, but apparently it was that one again. So yeah, you sing the song of going for a morning wee again, and everyone looks at you a bit odd because it's the afternoon and no one's going for a wee. But hey, and after about sort of an hour or two of really pelting it along, you can just about make out a coastline, sort of dead ahead. You are definitely making a beeline straight back to land. You have very little understanding of where you are, obviously, because none of you are navigating, and those of you who are still above decks and aren't, salties of long standing, given sort of, non-navigator roles, aren't looking. Zeke is comfortably below decks, going, cold metal feels good on fevered skin. Yes. In that way that very seasick people do. They hold cold things against their face while they panic. And Anita is staring into the wake, trying not to be sick. So, Timi, you've... Timi and Lamb, I suppose. You want to give me a knowledge if you recognise this stretch of coastline?
Ooh.
You two have both been sailing on the south coast for, many years by now. Most likely. Lamb considerably more years, in fact.
Lamb's probably going to considerably know more than me, in that in total I got 5.
That's land. You're pretty sure that that's land. It looks quite landy. Parts of it are green. And it looks quite solid. Right, Lamb. What about you? Or are
I think
you just
Lamb has frozen.
Or are you just frozen? It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell with Kerone whether he's just glaring gormlessly at us or if he's frozen.
I can't see a flicker in his glasses, so I think he's actually gone.
Yeah,
well.
I think so.
Well, we shall boldly continue without him. You God,
Oh,
now
no.
that's really messed things up. Right,
Oh no.
what shall we do now? Right, I think we shall switch to a quick break while I try and get cameras sorted out. So, see you in a few minutes. My mic wasn't on. I'm back again with my mic on this time.
Hello.
And everyone else is here and we can all hear each other and it's all wonderful. So, Lamb. You have been
Unnatural 12.
excellent. Unnatural 12. You have been staring at this land and this land definitely looks like cliffs. There are a number of cliffs along this coastline, but these definitely look like cliffy cliffs. They're white cliffs, which means, in your considered understanding, that you could be somewhere in a broad sort of 120-mile stretch of coastline.
Between what was Brighton and Eastbourne.
Between what was... I say 120 might be sort of underestimating, but you're probably somewhere on the south coast. Somewhere between sort of Portsmouth and Dover.
Oh. Okay, that's a bit broader, yeah.
Yeah. Probably a little less because you haven't been travelling. You've only been travelling for sort of 4 or 5 days. But, you're pretty damn sure you're still on the south coast. This is probably a little further along than you normally range, so, yeah.
I'm going to point and just tell everyone, cliffs!
Yes. To everyone else with eyeballs standing on the deck, I assume this is a typical, trademark Lamb shout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To everyone else with eyeballs, it's readily apparent these are cliffs. They're big and white and they stand out from the sea. You know,
Even
unless
Anita knows it.
yeah, you know, Anita would know it if she was looking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you look over your shoulder and go, oh shit.
But
What
Lamb's
cliffs?
going to be very proud that he said it first.
Excellent. I have a mental image of Lamb just standing at the bow of the ship like, cliffs! And I was like, yeah. What about it? Like,
Yeah.
someone throws you a mop. It's like, get working. Brave hero. Yeah, have a mop. Yeah. Someone throws you a mop and like a bucket full of like warm tar, and it's just like, keep tarring the decks. Don't want anything leaking.
Gonna rub the tar all over the floor.
Yep, that's the one. Because it's better than paint. It lasts longer. It smells worse. Huzzah!
He can do it in a circle around himself, and then step over it and do another circle.
Yeah, one of the sullies notices you doing this, and he like, oh god, he just picks up like a large hanked up like load of rope and just throws it at you. Quit fucking around, and he crits, so it smashes into you. A nice solid crit. And give me a physical endurance.
Oh god. I crit.
Excellent. Yeah. The rope just like smacks into you. It knocks the mop out your hands. It staggers you a little, but you catch it, and you're like, oh, all right. You're probably a little mystified as to why someone just threw a big heavy load of rope at you, but hey. Yeah. Long practice, you catch this damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there is no damage done, apart from you drop your mop. But yes.
Pick the mop up and carry on.
Okay. Fair enough. So yeah, obviously you keep drawing closer. And everyone on deck, give me a perception. If anyone has any skill in explosives, you can tack that on.
10.
Unnatural 11.
7.
Okay. In the far distance, you could kind of hear like a popping noise. Kind of repetitive popping. If any of you applied any explosives at all. 1, 2. Timi, have any explosives? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You all could draw from your very, even just like the very basics of explosives knowledge. Of, you know that this is explosions a long way away. You're getting like the reverberations of explosions from a very, very long way away. You're hearing them like little like popcorn pops, but up close they're probably pretty devastating. But you can't see what's happening yet. You just hear this. Below decks, you hear shit. All you can hear is an engine, pretty much. Like it's starting to smell pretty bad down there. Like it was pretty sweaty and diesely before, but now it's kind of like it's diesel and like burning oil. You're probably sort of only a dozen or so feet from a very large engine, like pushing it. Someone pushing it considerably harder than it should be. So like it's starting to get quite hot. Like, quite a bit hotter than it should. lubricant oil is starting to sort of sizzle. And dust on it starting to burn. But yeah, you're not worried about the sea anymore. Yeah. So yeah, boat continues sort of ploughing on. In another few minutes, you can clearly make out, as you sort of pass around the headland, the ruins of an old settlement, a big old pre-desolation settlement. There are buildings sort of right onto the seafront at this point, and in the extreme distance, you can see land. You can see a pier, which you recognise because all those many years ago, you were with you were at Morgan's side when you moored on a pier at Orthing, and you know that if you're going to go mud side in dangerous situation, a pier is a good bet. You don't have to get too close to the old mud side there. You might get caught in sort of stones and sand and God knows what. But between you and this pier, as you continue sort of drawing closer, you can see a boat, a big one. It's clearly being operated by Salties at some point. It's painted in sort of the traditional Salty manner of each plate on the hull is painted nicely, but not necessarily the same colour. Right. The overall sort of appearance is somewhat like a Roma wagon, but floating, made of steel.
Okay.
And probably
I
kelp.
suppose it's got a sign on it.
What?
I don't suppose it's got a sign on it.
Not that you can see at this distance. You're still a considerable distance away.
Oh, okay.
This is sort of more along the lines of the way that you can see a ferry in the distance.
Right.
From land.
Okay.
It's a big boat, not ridiculously big, but large. Easily 2 or 3 times the size of O'Neill's.
Right.
Yeah. So you rip along, and the people are on the deck with these harpoon guns out, like, oh, fuck that. Take the harpoon guns down and put them back in the lockers under deck. We don't want to look like we're antagonising that fucker.
I don't know what it is yet. If it's the breaking wave, then we might have to break it and wave at it.
Yeah. At this point, O'Neill comes over to you, Anita, and ushers you below decks.
She goes.
He's like, right, I don't know what's happening with them, but if that's who we're here for, I don't want to be antagonising them before we have to, and having mudsiders up on deck is probably not great.
No, that's fine, and she disappears.
Cool.
Stumbling slightly.
Yeah, he basically takes you to the bottom of the stairs, and there's Zeke.
Yeah.
Just sitting at the bottom of the stairs, probably with your. What's Zeke doing at this particular point to feel better about his situation?
Zeke right now is probably with his good arm clutched around the railings at the bottom of these stairs. Head probably between knees. He wasn't. He was never a religious man. Not prior to this.
Oh. Fair enough. At some point while you've been here, mumbling whatever you're mumbling to whoever might be listening, one of the crew actually comes up to you in this time, and he starts attempting to sort of gently guide you in a traditional Salty prayer to it's the spirit of the tides. It's something very sort of rudimentary. It's just spirits of the tides protect us as we go into harm. Watch over us and hold back the waters from our hull. It's a very sort of basic sort of prayer of protection. Just like, don't for fuck's sake let us drown. Amen.
Zeke will have jumped on that, and it will have become a mantra as it goes on.
Okay. Okay. Having now found faith, you sit there with. You are no longer. There is notably no atheists in this foxhole. And as Anita comes down, you meet this man of faith, crouched at the bottom of the stairs, pressing his face against the cool metal railings, attempting to wipe off the terror sweat. And you also notice as you go below decks that the air below decks is vile. It's oily, it's hot, it's profoundly unpleasant. And you start to appreciate why maybe they locked you in a cabin. Because people don't want to be exposed to that.
She gently grabs Zeke and says, let's head out of this, and tries to find the cabin.
I think the cabin you were in was the only one you noticed with a large lock on it. So,
yeah.
And also you were led to it, so yeah, you can easily find it. I can't remember how many cabins there were on each side, but it's the last one on the right as you head along.
Yeah.
So you can easily just dive on in. So you're going to drag Zeke with you, or?
Yep, get him out of this air to try and somewhere a little healthier.
Yeah. Are you at all compass mentis of this attempt to,
Yeah, Zeke will follow quite happily, possibly clutching onto Anita with his good arm, against the profound swaying that he found bad enough to drive him into this hellhole.
Enough. Yeah. Yeah. As Zeke sort of latches onto you, and do you recall your bad arm is still movable? It's just not very strong, which is why it's still supported. But yeah, you're like clutching onto you're like your good arm and your bad arm's like and yeah, Anita is acutely aware that Zeke is swaying more than the boat.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing that thing that people who aren't used to sailing do, where they try and sway with the boat, but they sway the wrong way to try and stay upright, and it makes them feel sicker.
Yeah.
Just like idiots on motorbikes who lean the wrong way and tip over the motorbike. But yeah, I used to do that when I was a kid. My dad was so angry with me. Yes. So you walk this incorrectly swaying man back to your cabin, and what are you doing with him? Like, his entire time he's been in there, basically he's been laying down. Are you going to drag this large older man, this large middle-aged man, into the cabin and throw him down upon the bed without explaining what's going on, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Zeke, as far as you're aware, Anita has chosen this time to drag you away into a cabin and throw you on a bed, which is confusing at the least.
Zeke's gonna look up and go, the time and a place, and sort of then go, what's going on up there? As the spirit of the sea is keeping us safe down here.
Anita gives him a very puzzled look at the whole a time and a place thing, because that's just not going through her head at all. She's basically getting her patient somewhere secure. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, big boat up tap. They're going to try and talk to. Don't want us visible, hence down here.
As you sort of do this, that helpful member of the crew who saw Zeke earlier comes on back, and he goes. Actually, no, he doesn't say anything. He just throws something through the door at you as he runs through to the engine room, and it appears to be like a little figure made from sort of like seashells and bits of old rope and things. And as far as damn it you can tell, it's basically a mermaid.
Anita picks it up and kind of looks at it and goes,
It appears to be something of great ritual significance to someone. They've spent a lot of time making this. It's like shells with holes drilled in them with bits of like frayed rope tied through it. It's got hair. It's got like a shell for a face, with like holes drilled in it and bits of wispy rope pulled through it for hair and things.
Okay. She's gonna show it to Zeke and go, does that mean anything to you?
Zeke will nod, and as if having sort of a moment of profound realization,
Yes.
will go. That's what's keeping us safe on this boat. It's an idol of the spirit of the sea, and he'll sort of take it from her and sort of turn it over in his hands, starting to re-repeat the chant as the swaying of the boat gets a bit worse. Feels to him as if it is getting worse.
Well, you have moved off centre now as well, so any minor swaying will feel more severe. But yeah, okay. So, are you going to lock the door again, or at least close it, or?
I'm gonna close the door.
So I would point out you've moved like a dozen feet closer to the engine room, which was the whole problem.
Yeah, no, gonna shut the door.
Okay, cool.
What happened to the bag of stuff we got given?
The bag of stuff you got given, if I recall correctly, Timi had.
Okay.
Because in my recap listening, she hugged it when someone pointed out how good the things in it were.
Yep. Cool. In that case, Anita's not going to go through the bag to find out what the hell's in there because she doesn't have it.
Yep, you don't have the bag. I don't know exactly what might be going through your mind, but it might just about be occurring to you that like your two salty friends are up top with whatever's in the bag, and you're down here without it in a room with a lock. The level of trust might be a little skewed here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're over the next sort of next sort of 15 minutes, half an hour, you become aware the engine note is slowly sort of petering down a bit. It's getting to a more sort of sustainable level. A less cat in a mangle, and more overtaxed Mondeo. So,
definitely as it peters out, you'll see Zeke notably calm down, and with his sort of good arm, that the other one's still strapped up and supported, start to go over Tilly to make sure she is firing ready, given the instructions they've been given. It has not yet occurred to him that firing a large rifle with one arm is less than the greatest idea in the world, but...
Oh, yeah. We shall come back to you checking on Tilly in a moment. Alright. Up on deck, we have some salties. 2 salties, in fact, who are players. What are you doing up on deck? You have like half an hour of grace up here, because we've just dealt with 15 minutes, half an hour of people below decks. So, you're up on deck, you are drawing closer to this boat, which is kind of on the small end of being like a ferry, where you're on sort of a medium-sized trawler or a tugboat. So yeah, it's considerably larger. It's clearly armed, which you sort of you gather as you move closer that those explosions you were hearing were things being fired from this boat onto the shore. As you sort of watch, you hear booms, and thuds and sort of thunking noises as things fly through the air towards the land. And ever so very occasionally, you hear gunfire from the land, but nothing as heavy returning. Nothing's landing in the sea, nothing's hitting the boat. It's just there seems to be a sustained sort of artillery bombardment going towards the land.
Wow.
And as you're drawing closer, you see the guns on the seaward side of this boat start to pivot. They're not firing at you, but they're definitely sort of getting an eye in. O'Neill sort of steps to the front through the front door of the warehouse and says, "If you have any smart ideas, now would be a great time."
I got my club. I'm gonna wave it around.
Put that fucking thing down. We don't want them thinking that. We don't want them thinking we're threatening them.
Do we have any lifeboats? Or floating, maybe crates, or something small that would float?
Is it you want to take to the boats? So, we've got boats. What do you need?
So, rather than us taking our boat up there and making a big scene, what if we sent the boat along this way, port starboard that way, and then a few of us take the smaller boats round the back. So they're distracted by the captain sailing the boat towards them, just out of range. So, nothing gets damaged. And we take Morgan's surprise over from to these gentlemen over here.
You want to sacrifice all the fuel we took on?
Not all of it, just maybe enough to.
Because the Kelpers haven't given us Morgan's surprise yet.
No, but we have Lamb's small jar.
Oh, okay. Oh God.
Stuff.
Why did you give it to him?
We didn't give it to him. We've not been able to take it out of his hands yet. But maybe if we give him a bit of a mission, and I'm sure you won't mind him floating off into the distance for a while.
This plan's definitely getting better. Yeah. All right.
And then we could maybe make use of it over there.
Yeah. He leans back for a few moments into the wheelhouse and gesticulates wildly at the poor helmsman, who only seems to be controlling the boat sort of a third of the time. The captain seems to be quite hands-on. And the boat sort of slows and it bellies around a bit so as to not be smashing it straight towards this gigantic boat. After a few moments, he leans back out and he points at two of the other salties on deck. And he's just you, Jack, you, Frank. Jack and Frank, God. Gotta come up with better names. Get the skiffs. Put lamb in it. And sure enough, they go to the back of the wheelhouse. You see them sort of climbing up, and they pull down off the top of the wheelhouse roof a small boat. It's it's one of those things. It's the mid step between a rowing boat and like one of those tiny little kayaks that people go on, like one person. And you can probably fit a few people in it, but you wouldn't want to do it in a rough sea. He gets it on down. He's like, all right. So there's a little boat for you. Like we can put some riggers on it if you don't want to, if you really want to be sure. But what's the plan from here? I'm all for sending Lamb off on let's say a mission of utility. Yeah. I've always considered him very disposable.
Right, so we've got to make these alive people into dead people.
Yep. If we could keep the boat, that would be a bit of a coup.
There you are. So how do you feel about it being a bit crispy?
Well, if we take the boat, it's mine. So, I'd rather it wasn't.
Right, so how do you propose we get those people off that boat without using some kind of firepower?
Well, traditionally, you'd sabotage the engines, let it float away, or float onto land, or run aground.
We could do that.
Yeah. Or you could give them a good reason to get off.
I reckon we could do that too. We met Lamb, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's this thing in this jar?
So this is what Morgan's asked them to hang on to.
Oh. So, at the risk of sound like I'm repeating myself, what's this thing in this jar? What does it do?
Fuel.
It's on my boat. I know what it does.
Right, so yeah, it's fuel. And occasionally, if used in the right way, it's an explosive.
Oh. Right, Lamb. No time like the present, my boy. Oh, off you go. He physically moves Lamb to the little skiff. Here you go, lad. Don't worry. And they put it on like the coastward side. They push it a little way. They're like, oh yeah, does anyone else want to? Do we want anyone else going with him?
I'll go with him.
Are you sure?
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Well, you'll be buried at sea. Right. You want the others?
Don't think it would be a bad idea if they came with us.
All right.
I'm not sure we could get them there, but if you can persuade them,
well,
I reckon they'd be
I
quite
need to
helpful.
persuade them. You're the one you're the ones who got this. You got us this shitty job. You go and persuade them.
Right, Lamb, you wait here, okay? And hold on to your jar.
For Christ's sake, put that down. God. So yeah. I assume he just like gestures to the hatch down below decks then. He's currently standing there making sure that, Lamb doesn't get back on shit. He's not getting back aboard. He's probably standing there with a boat hook, like, making sure he's at arm's length. So yeah. Down you go below decks. It's it's greasy, it's oily, it's sweaty. You can smell like burnt engine oil. That's new. Well, newer. And you can see that the hatch to your friend's cabin is closed. There you are. What you doing?
Okay, so is it locked or is it closed?
I believe it's closed. I believe it locks from the outside.
Okay. In which case, yeah, so Timi would open it and go on in.
Fair enough. Zeke! The engine is calming down. Everything seems to be getting that little bit better. At long last, the sea becomes a tolerable companion once again. You feel like, you could get on with this whole sea lark now. Now that you know the spirit of the tide is looking out for you. And at this moment, the door clangs open. Nice and relaxed. The spirits of sand and tide is... crap! The door bangs over, this metal door swings open, slams against the metal wall. And there is a probably spray drenched Timi clutching a large bag.
After getting over the initial shock, Zeke will go, well, have we hit land yet?
No, not exactly. So, around those clothes our friends gave us, nice green outfit. It will suit you really well, and chucks him one of the outfits.
Yeah, they were very differently sized. There's an array of sizes. It might take a few minutes of faffing to work out who's who, but yeah.
So we've got a bit of a plan. We have to board the other ship. And I thought you might want to come with us. Bit of adventure. Air the squirrel.
Okay, but if we're not on land, does that mean we're going over one of them plank things again that was pretty wobbly when we were getting onto the
Not a plank.
farm?
No, not a plank. Think of it as a smaller boat.
Sorry, come again?
Smaller boat. More air. Less oil. A lot more lamb.
Well, when I heard the words less oil, it sounded somewhat appealing. How small are we talking?
Just big enough for the four of us.
You see his face visibly drop and go, it's a bit close to the sea, isn't it?
Al fresco.
I think I had some of that up, halfway down, heading towards Ooze Town, but not had it since. But what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, it's a small boat. It'll be fine. Well, we kind of need you to come over and help us encourage the other crew to leave. A bit like we went over and encouraged people to leave some of the places in Ooze Town.
She wants to burn it down then.
They've asked us specifically not to. But, if it just happens to burn down, then it's not our
fault. Not burning down things is kind of an implicit in the whole kind of concept of civilization. But apparently you needed it spelled out. But yeah.
Anita's
Anita, you're also there, hearing.
I'm sat on my bunk, just looking between the two. So, small boat. How do we get onto big boat? I saw big boat. Big boat. Big.
So the idea.
No, not more freezing.
Yeah.
Everybody freezes.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Wow. God damn it.
Okay. Baby,
There.
are you back?
I'm back.
Pickles.
Cool.
Okay,
Everything
what
was
happened there?
Very weird.
Everyone kind of just did this.
Oh, well. That was an odd moment.
Yeah.
So yes, getting from small boat to big boat.
Yes, right. So big boat, little boat goes off, causes a distraction. We get into littler boat, go around the back, and then climb onto big boat.
Climb onto big boat? How?
Yeah, I don't know yet. That's a detail. We'll get there.
Don't know if you've noticed, but my climbing days, for the moment at least, seem to be numbered.
Can you rig you up some? There must be a way of getting you up there.
You would
People have
recall.
climbed with fewer limbs.
You would recall from the time that you got on board the Bottom Bride that they do these boats do tend to have nets hanging on the side for people to climb up and down, because it's quite important for people to be able to get to the side of the boat, and the boat never comes out the water.
Yeah. So we could put you in a net and we could pull you up.
It's kind of more like a climbing net, the kind you get at an adventure playground.
Cargo net.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But yeah.
Oh.
So as long as you can hang on with one hand, there's like footholds.
Okay. Best we get this done with, and then we can go and get the cat and stuff.
Yeah, we're going to use some of that captain stuff to encourage the engine to stop. But only the jar that Lamb has, so the little one. The big one, we will keep safe.
Yeah, let's keep that well away from Lamb.
As a point of order, are you keeping that larger jar of dangerous high explosive safe by leaving it here? Or are you taking it with you and keeping it safe in the sense of, we're going to take it into the dangerous place, but in my bag?
I would be inclined to leave it here.
Yeah, Anita, remembering what went wrong with the explosive liquid last time, is going to suggest it stays here.
Well, I'd argue that's Lilth remembering what went wrong with the explosive liquid last time. Not Anita. But Timi remembers well what went wrong with the explosive liquid last time.
Yeah.
Anita was there as well. Anita helped set it up.
You mean the shaky jars?
Yeah, the glow jar.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that at all.
No, I know you're not.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anita remembers the glow jar.
Yeah,
Anita
really.
remembers the glow jar. Timi remembers what happens when you let this stuff get shaken up. No, let's leave it here. And if it is going to blow anyone up, it's going to blow these buggers up, not us.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Let's not get blown up. What's this green clothing stuff do?
So, from what we could gather, it looks like it's some kind of like blast-proof, bulletproof stuff. I'm going to give it a name because I'm pretty sure Thirsty's already thought of it. I think this stuff is made of kelp lard.
Yep.
I wish I could claim that I had thought of that. I hadn't. I even made that up entirely on spur at the moment. The whole thing. But hey, yeah, you have your Kelplar armour, or your Kelplar sort of suits. Well, it depends. You've just coined the term. Is Kelplar the material that the clothes made out of, or is it the material that the plates that you place in the clothes are made of?
Would it not be the material that the clothes are made of once the kelp has been woven? Because once the woven fabric has then bonded, that's what makes it Kelplar. They are
Kelpramic.
You brought this on yourself.
Well, Zeke already has some armour. Anita doesn't have any. I don't know about Timi.
Nope.
And Lamb's lamb.
I think Timi is going to take one of the front plates and is going to roll a strength to punch it several times to form a front plate. Should we call it a front plate?
Anita doesn't care. She's gonna take her front plate.
Appreciate. Excellent. So to use a Kerone's favourite phrase, tits, yeah. I wanted to share the armour.
Zeke is going to take 2 and fit one to the front, favouring the right side, and one in the back, favouring the right side.
Anita's gonna grab that. Yeah, put it on the back.
But it looks good.
Nice. That takes my body armour up to 6. I think we definitely take gloves and pants. Nah.
Anita's gonna take the trousers.
Yeah, Timmy's going to go full sea monster with this hat, trousers, gloves.
Anita's gonna go hat as well, but not gloves.
Will these fit over my current trousers? It is what Zeke wonders as he holds them up. Took the gloves, but then sort of after realising he had no longer had any flex, decided against them. Probably took the pants as well.
Damn it, Roasty. You could have mentioned that my mic was turned off earlier. But hey, thank you for mentioning it, because now I realise. Fortunately, on the recording, it should be okay. No, it won't. Fuck. Right. Yeah, there I am. Just realised we completely fucked that whole thing. So hey, you're armoured, you're ready, you're going back to the boat, reservoir dog style, climb on in, Lamb is sitting in the front, you get cast off unceremoniously. It's like, finally, you're all here, go. And your little boat, well, actually, yeah, just as your little boat starts moving, someone chucks an oar to you, because you didn't think to ask for one. So yeah, someone chucks you like a paddle, so you can like canoe across. And yeah, the Botland bride sort of pulls away to a safe distance. You see some flags going up, and the salties among you realise that they're like, we wish you well, we're staying out of it. Like, call us when you've got something to trade. And your little boat bobs along the waves, towards the breakers, actually, sort of thing. It's going quite close in. Next to the breaking waves. As you pull close, you can read that on the side of the boat. And you're only a few metres away, and the waves are sort of surging you ever closer and ever closer. And you start to see a few people sort of peer over the top, some of whom seem to be armed. But no one's firing yet. You can hear people sort of calling down. You can't really hear what they're saying. And with a sort of a hollow thunk, the front of your little boat meets the side of theirs. Someone throws down a rope. Rope ladder hits.
We land.
Zeke. Doesn't hurt, it's just mildly humiliating. They're like, catch! Thump! Ah, my arm! And at that, we shall leave it.
For the best.
Yeah, before the tech fails again. So yeah. That was a labyrinth of technological difficulties. I was really hoping we'd get into a big explosive combat encounter, but fortunately we started half an hour late and then lost like 20-30 minutes with some technical difficulties. So, sorry, everyone, for the general naffness of things today. But I can absolutely promise you, next week, I will be firing many guns at these people. And there will be explosions and probably fire and screaming. And we can get back to our regular programming of me describing the horrible ways these people have murdered sort of dozens of people. And there'll probably be a fire. It wouldn't be this lot if there wasn't a fire. A fire at sea. You're literally going to cause a fire at sea.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
We haven't done that yet. So we've got to do that to tick the box.
Yeah. To your knowledge. But yeah. So, that was when I get nuked. I'm sorry that things went so naff. And it took me so long to work out how to fix things. I'm also sorry that I didn't realise my mic was off for about 10 minutes. So that's going to really... the production value on that. Yeah. Shit. So, yes. I was thirsty. I was like the 6 people in the world, most of whom didn't speak. And if you'll forgive me, I'm still on Twitter, thirsty_BTP, bloodthirstpubs.co.uk. And I'm still the person who runs the tech that fails every Monday here. And who should we do next? Do we have any volunteers? You can always just jump in. It's okay. Go on.
I'm Kerone. You can find me at Kerone_BTP at Twitter. You can also find me at jqs.org.uk for information about my new short film, which is Betrayed, which at some point you'll be able to pop along to selected cinemas to watch, which will be nice. Yeah.
Wow, that was lingering and creepy. So, next we shall go to Lilth.
I'm Lilth. You can find me on Twitter at Lilth21. You can also find me on Saturdays at back to 9 p.m. GMT because the
time zones are no longer shit.
Yes, they've readjusted themselves. However, you won't be able to find me this Saturday because Kit's on holiday. But normally you can find me on his channel, Kit_Battlebeard, on a Saturday playing D&D, having lots of fire.
Fire.
Yeah, lots of fire.
I'm starting to see there's like a growing motif.
What? No. I just play a fire cleric fire genasi in that game.
Fire cleric, fire genasi, fire, fire, fire! Yeah. Okay.
There might be a small obsession.
Yes. Okay. Keep an eye on that. Right. Spanners.
Oh, I am Spanners. You can find me on Twitter at Spanners_ACX. You can come find me on ACX where I am narrating exciting horror stuff. You can find me on Dark Dice. Go and download the first episode now. It's roughly described to me by somebody else as the most horrific sound effects they have ever heard. And you can find me here on Bloodthirsty Puppets.
Like that, see? A little extra plug on my own channel. It's lovely. So, Eivor.
I've been Zeke. You can find me on Twitter at Eivor_DNABC. Here on a Monday night. And coming very soon on a Friday night, I will be appearing on my very own stream as GM for Powered by the Pajama Party, which will be a late night Powered by the Apocalypse stream, testing out various PBTA systems, the majority of which will be Dungeon World.
Yeah, I'm on that too.
Will it be done in pyjamas?
It will indeed be done in pyjamas because we will be kicking off around 11 PM GMT.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
You see, now while I've done this particular stream, occasionally wearing pyjama trousers, I just didn't feel it was quite a pyjama-like time. So, you know. But yeah, I applaud you for embracing the pyjama. Well done.
Oh yeah.
The actual release date of that is yet to be confirmed, but we'll keep you up to date.
And may your technology be better than mine. Yes. So yeah, that's that. If you watch us on Twitch, bad luck, mate.
Sorry.
Jesus. If you watch this on YouTube, I've probably forgotten to edit out the breaks, so sorry. At least nothing too key happened. So hey. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you watched, if you didn't watch, we'll see you another time because, well, time in a bar, bitches. Tra. Oh, Jesus.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh.
Is it? That was definitely something.
Yeah. Yeah.
God almighty.
It was Halloween a couple of days ago, so I think that's probably something to do with it.
Blame the fireworks.
Equivalent of my fantasy team this week.
I blame the fireworks. It's thermonuclear fireworks causing EMPs. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to have to update things and work out why everything's buggered. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for playing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because it clearly wouldn't be
Always
anything
fun.
like the same without you. I would be a sad man sitting in my sad room talking to myself.
Yeah.
But things would probably go a bit more to plan.